All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Miss Rebecca Goldstein, and today we are going to be doing some measurements of the volumes and surface area of some objects that we found just around our house. So the object that we are going to start with is this little sign right here, and we're going to be finding the surface area. So as you can see, this is a rectangular prism, and you'll notice that the back of it is kind of open, but for the sake of what we're going to be doing, we're going to pretend that this is closed. So we're going to pretend that like this square right here, that there's another one, so that this would be a closed shape for the surface area, okay? All right, so before we start measuring, we need to figure out what the formula is for finding the surface area of a rectangular prism. So let's go ahead and look. All right, so the formula for surface area of a prism is 2a, which is the area of the base, plus the perimeter of the base multiplied by the height of the prism. So now we're going to get some measurements of our prism. All right, and as you can see, I'm using a ruler, and we are going to be using centimeters today. So if we look, we'll see that that is at 0, and we go all the way across. It is 15. So the length of this is 15. And now we are going to measure the width. And so since the face or the base of this object is a square, we can see that the width is also 15. All right, and now we are going to find the height of our prism. All right, and so looking at the height of our prism, we can see that that says 3.7 centimeters for the height. All right, so now that we have measured our side lengths and have found our measurements for our prism, we can start putting it all together and calculating the surface area. So the first thing we're going to want to do is find the area of the base. And so we said that the length and the width of the base were 15 centimeters each. And so to find the area of a square, we multiply length times width, which in this case is 15 times 15, and that is going to give us 225 centimeters square, and that is for the area of our base. The next thing we want to find is the perimeter of the base. So since we know that the length and the width are 15 and that this is a square, all four sides of the base are going to be 15 centimeters. So we're going to add that up and get 60 centimeters for our perimeter. And we know that the height of the prism is 3.7 centimeters. So now we can rewrite our equation using the measurements. So we have SA, surface area, equals 2 times 225 plus 60 multiplied by 3.7. And we want to use that area of the base twice because since we're finding the surface area, we know that front and back, it has two bases. So we're going to multiply 225 by 2 and get 450. And then we're going to multiply 60 by 3.7 and get 222. And we're going to add together 450 and 222 to get 672. And that comes out to 672 centimeters squared, which is the surface area of our prism. All right, and next up, we are going to find the volume of a cylinder, so stay tuned for that. All right, welcome back. And for our last problem today, we are going to be finding the volume of a cylinder. So I have here just a candle. As you can see, it is a cylinder. And so the first thing we're going to want to do is find our measurements. All right, so the formula for the volume of the cylinder is area of the base times the height. And so to find the area of the base, that equation is pi r squared. So we need to find the radius. And one way to do that is to measure the diameter and divide it in half. So you can see here, our diameter is about 8.6. Okay. All right, and now we need to find our height. All right, and since this candle is kind of clear on the bottom, it looks like it's sticking off the edge a little bit, but It is not. All right, and so it looks like our height is about 10 and 1/2 centimeters, so 10 and a half. All right, so let's go back to focusing on the area for right now. So we mentioned that the formula for an area of a circle is pi r squared. And so for this equation, we are going to use pi as 3.14. Obviously, that is not the exact number for pi, but for this problem, that is what we are going to use, which means that our answer is actually going to be an approximation. So it's not going to be exact. All right, so we found that the diameter was 8.6 centimeters. And since we just need the radius, we can divide that by 2 and get 4.3. So if we come over here, we will see 3.4 times 4.3 squared, remember pi r squared, and we will get an approximate area of 58.1 centimeters. All right, and so remember we said that the height was 10.5 centimeters, and so now we are going to add that to our equation. All right, as you can see, we have plugged in our area and our height into our equation. So our equation is area times height. So we have 58.1 times 10.5, and that is going to give us 610.05 centimeters cubed. So we're not done yet because, as I mentioned earlier, since we used 3.14 in place of pi, our answer is actually going to be approximately 610.05 centimeters cubed.